Hey, it's Christine. If you've never met me before, hey. And if we have met before, maybe you've met my husband, Dave. It's been a minute since he's been in a video, so I thought I would ask him to join us today as we talk about how you can live a really amazing life on pretty much $0 bills.
Can't wait till you tell me.
I know, it's very exciting. It's exciting, it's special, it's sexy, it's dangerous.
So sexy, it hurts.
I accidentally stumbled upon the secret to life.
You did?
Yeah, it was an accident.
Did you tell me?
We did it together. Maybe you didn't realize.
Oh, that sounds like me. It's dumb luck.
Just dumb luck.
For sheer dumb luck.
Here's how it happened. We were broke. We didn't have any money. We got married in college, had a kid, still in college. You're really not gonna have a lot of money if you get married and have a kid in college. But what happened is we didn't have any money, so to entertain our child, we took her outside. And you know what I learned?
What did you learn?
I learned kids are real happy with a lot of room to run around and some sticks.
Yeah.
And then we had another kid and we worked at a summer camp and we didn't bring any toys with us because we were living in this like little cabin for 6 or 7 weeks. We had 2 kids at the time, and you know what their favorite thing to play with was?
Sticks.
Sticks and really long grass. Do you remember the grass?
Oh yeah.
The grass would like grow to your waist, you know, in a big field or whatever, and they would pick it and they would bend it and pretend that they were horses, like riding horses. When we raised our kids, I learned that they really need very little to be really happy.
Yes, 100%. It was fascinating how their imaginations took over. They did not need all the things that the world and consumerism tells us that they need.
And to be clear, I fell for that. I 100% fell for this lie that if we had this toy or this crib set or this outfit, that I was a better parent and I would have like more intelligent, more creative kids.
It's also it's my responsibility as a parent to provide that.
Yes, I fell for that too.
Right?
Like that I wasn't a good mom because I didn't provide those things. So I did get sucked up into it. Mm-hmm. Not at first because I didn't have enough money to be sucked into it. But later, when I got better at finding deals, couponing and that sort of thing, I went a little nutso.
Right.
With I can provide some of these things, ergo, I'm a better parent. Because I kind of got sucked into this, I can provide this, or I'll work another job and I'll have a little bit of money and maybe I can buy the Nikes and I can get whatever it is that the kids like these days.
Yeah.
We started accumulating. I got overwhelmed and stressed because of all the stuff. And to be honest, my kids did too. Do you remember how messy the kids' rooms were before I did that? Like I cleaned out all their rooms with the house hushing last year. Mm-hmm. Their rooms were always messy. Their minds were cluttered because their rooms were cluttered because of all this stuff. Even with teenage boys, all they need is a big field and some sticks.
And this is not just us saying this. There is like evidence all over. If you read The Coddling of the American Mind, it's a great read. And they talk about how these boys and girls need to play. They need unstructured play.
They need unstructured, unsupervised play. And when I say unsupervised, I don't mean a 2-year-old, right? I mean like a 12-year-old needs to be able to create their own rules and their own game without adult interference so they can be creative and learn. And they really just need a big field, some rocks to climb, a tree to climb, and some sticks.
As young parents, we didn't have a whole lot to give our kids at the time. So when we went to Boy Scout camp as needing a summer job, basically as a teacher that didn't get paid over the summer, we saw our kids play. Mm-hmm. And we started creating habits of, well, you know what, our day off, we should go hike. We should do a little bit more structure and let them see other ways, other parts, other scenery, other people.
Sometimes people ask me how we got into hiking. Like, how did you get into hiking? It's free. That's how we got into it. And I have a secret. Hiking is walking. And it's free. There's a ton of free trails everywhere, state parks all across the United States, like hidden gems. Go check out your state parks. And then if you live close to a national park, go check those out as well. But there's free options also that don't include, like maybe a national parks pass or whatever. But I would say at $80 for a 1-year pass, that's a bang for your buck, man.
Yeah.
A lot of times people ask me, how do you get kids to hike, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles? And the secret is to bribe them. Always make sure you have snacks and something to drink.
And what's fascinating to me about what the hiking did to us as a family is how much information the kids shared with us, how their imagination just ran wild as we're just walking down the trail, blathering on, and they're observing all these things, thinking about all these things, and they just talk freely. And the quality time we had was amazing.
It is amazing. And what's super cool is you get to see all of the amazing things that the world has to offer. And a lot of these places you can't access unless you hike there. You're not gonna drive there. It's not gonna happen. One of the most impressive ones for me was Bryce Canyon. Bryce Canyon is one of the most mind-blowingly beautiful places I've ever seen. You walk up to that rim and you look down into that canyon and you do this, whoa.
That peekaboo trail. Every time you turn a corner, it was just one view after another. You'd come through the tunnel and all of a sudden it would just open up to these amazing vistas.
It was wild.
It's kind of a type 2 fun, right? It's not necessarily
What is that?
Have you ever heard that before?
No.
So type 1 fun is like where I'm actually having fun, but type 2 fun is there's other rewards
No.
that become fun.
I need a way better description than that.
No, type 2 is like, I look back on it with great memories. And it really, like, it may have been a lot of hard work at the time. It may have been a little bit painful at the time, but it produced something in me that I look back on with fondness.
So what would type 1 be?
Like, I'm on a roller coaster, whee! And what I'm trying to point out is if you do that at a young age, they start to get used to that. But there's been a lot of times that I work with youth that are in all sorts of other programs that I'm involved in that absolutely hate that kind of entertainment. And they can't even get into it because it's so foreign to them. It just feels hard. And it's hard to get them past the feeling of hard and into the type 2 fun.
Do you think it's a generational thing? Like it's the time of the 2020s where it's less so? Or do you think maybe it's a class issue? Because when I was a kid, that's all we did. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. We camped and hiked. That's what we did. We couldn't afford toys and we didn't really do vacations. Our vacations was camping.
I don't think it's a class thing.
You don't think it's a class? Is it a generational thing?
I don't even think it's generational.
Okay.
I think it's just environment.
It's an environmental thing.
I do.
Oh, okay.
It depends on kind of if you grew up with that or not, right? Like, did you get to experience that environment? You and I both experienced it a lot as kids.
Yes.
And we never wanted our kids to miss out on that.
Right.
Not to mention, we didn't have other opportunities to give them at the time. The only thing we had to give them was our time and the free outdoors that we had at our fingertips.
Some of my best memories are from camping as a kid. We went to Palo Duro Canyon when I was 14, 15, right around there. And there was this huge rainstorm that flooded the whole campground. Everybody left, but us. We didn't leave, even though I was basically sleeping on a water sleeping bag that night. We had to dry everything out the next day. But what happened is it created this mud pit. I'm 14 and I'm the oldest, so we're like 14, 11, 9, and 7 or something like that. And we asked my parents, can we go play in this mud pit over here? And to my parents' credit, they said yes. We ruined our clothes. Like, I'm pretty sure one of us lost our flip-flops in the mud. The mud came up to our waists. We're in up to our waists in this muddy water, hooting and hollering and having the best time ever. To this day, if you bring up that trip, every single one of us, all the siblings, will talk about the mud pit.
My family had a very similar experience. We were camping in the Feather River area of California, Northern California. And it just rained the whole time. And all I can remember, I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old. But I can remember just hanging out in the tent trying and having all the parents yell at us not to touch the sides
Oh
of the
yeah,
tent.
because then it would leak.
And listen, I would be interested to know if your parents actually had fun or if just the kids had fun, because I look back on that trip and I'm like, that was kind of wild, right? I don't think any of the adults had fun on that one, but as a kid, I'm like, that was kind of cool.
Well, my dad's kind of like a kid.
Yeah.
So I know he had fun, except that was the trip that the bikes got ruined.
Oh yeah.
So the bikes fell off the bike rack on the highway. So that put a damper. That put a little bit of a damper
I can't even listen to that story.
on the trip.
It makes me want to puke.
I had a bad experience. And then my mom really got into the food. So my mom
Right.
would like gourmet cook
Oh,
over the coals.
Camping food is so good. But what's really cool, if you don't know, is most of these public campgrounds, I'm talking about state parks and national forest campgrounds, they're all very inexpensive. We're talking $10 to $30 a night, maybe a little bit more. Depending on the area, depending on whether or not there's electricity hookups, all of those things differ. But camping and hiking in these public spaces is actually really affordable for all involved.
Yeah, it's super inexpensive.
And just got to go find it.
So the campgrounds that we found up in Stanley, do you remember how much those are? Are they $22 a night?
$22 to $24 a night.
But if you're a senior, do you remember the senior price?
I want to say it was like $6.
Like $6 or $8 a night, and you can stay for 14 days. And then you have to move campsites, but you could move one campsite over. You would just pack up your stuff and move one over and stay another 14 days. So when we camped up there, there were a lot of seniors hanging out. They had bathrooms and running water, and like, what else do you need?
It's honestly, it's one of the best environments for kids, just to let them go out there and experience the fact that nature doesn't have to be scary.
No,
it
doesn't.
It's just a whole new playground, right? Even though going out into the mountains, going hiking, doing these public spaces, even though they're very inexpensive, it's not just that. That's actually not the most important thing.
What is the most important thing?
The most important thing is the experiences, the time together. I would tell you, this is way worth sacrificing a subscription to Netflix or a subscription to whatever other streaming service you're into. If you have to do without to afford this, it would be worth it even then. As a dad who's having all of his children start to move out of the house, those memories are worth more than any of those subscriptions are.
There's a lot of things we tend to spend money on because we think it'll make life easier or quicker, or we're tired and I don't want to make dinner tonight, so I'm just gonna like order some carry out or whatever, or DoorDash or whatever it is. Or we're at the store and we're hungry and the pre-cut fruit just looks more delicious and I can't be bothered to cut up a pineapple. Having those memories and relationships and experiences with the people that you love matters more than anything else. It matters more than the nice couch or the refinished floors or the car that you drive. None of that matters at the end of the day.
It's important to understand the environment that the culture we live in puts on us, right? And it could be, you can put the blame on all sorts of things, but what's important is you got to remember what is real. What is real is your family and the time you get to spend together, the memories you get to create together. And what I love about all of the stuff we've mentioned today is it doesn't take much money to do those, and they are more important.
I want you to experience some of the amazing relationship building memories that we have found with our kids. And yeah, they don't cost very much to go out and go for a walk around the park or take a dog out, for a walk and just talk and pour out your heart and listen. If your teenagers are talking to you, just listen, shut up and listen to them. Like, they want you to care about what they care about. That's all that matters to them.
Yeah.
And
can I just say, you do that really well.
Thank you. I love teenagers. It's my favorite age. It's my absolute favorite age. I adore it so much.
Different kinds of stress.
Yeah, it can still be stressful. It's just a little different than potty training. This is your assignment. Okay, are you ready for the assignment? You have to turn off this. Whatever you're watching this on, the TV, your phone, your computer, you have to turn this off. Because as much as I appreciate you guys being here with me and with us, and letting us share our lives and our thoughts sometimes, your family that's there in your house is more important than we are. We love it that you guys want to hang out with us, but you also need to turn it off and go hug your real family.
Go have an adventure.
I'll see you next time. But wait, there's more.
Is there?
There is. What's a line that a character delivers that should have won an Oscar?
There's a speech in the movie Rudy where the landscaper tells Rudy to just suck it up and stop being a baby and go back out. He's like, you're 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, and you ain't got a speck of athletic ability. Like, one of the best speeches ever, and I loved it. And I can't remember the actor's name.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Rudy's a good one.
Yeah.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Tom Cruise in You've Never Seen Me Very Upset.
No, you can't tell them what it's from.
Oh.
They need to guess the movies and TV shows that we're quoting down in the comments. And if they get them all, they win 100,000 points. But the points don't mean anything and there's no prizes. So it's not that it matters, but still, you get 100,000 points. You shall not pass. Come on. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
He had kissed a woman. He kissed her long and he kissed her good.
Yeah. Did you know that Squints from The Sandlot is also the actor in, oh my gosh, now I just blanked it. He was a grown-up and I didn't even see it until recently. Okay, here, I just have to read it verbatim because it's too good, okay? What you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. The kid who plays Squints in The Sandlot is Kyle in Gilmore Girls. What? Hey, not on my mom's rug.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I saw that episode.
Yeah, he's really funny.
When everyone does the party at his house,
Yes.
he's like, okay.
He's
I
like,
saw that one episode.
guys, respect the rug.
Okay, I saw one episode.
The end. Goodbye.